So it feeds information into this computer and then gets into the code, which is running in Arduino on yellow libraries V8 that we edited for this to be turned on. Here it shows what it's detecting and how far it is, or how fast is the coding and the quality. And then the code sends information through this USB cable and into the universal serial bus, then into the ESP32 microcontroller chip that is connected to an LCD that's there. That's just supposed to show its own. It's a 16:2.
When other people's children are becoming experts at how to interact with the computer age to make a handsome living for themselves, you are furious about the color orange. Other people are trying to protect their children from the laws that they believe are not good for their children. You are outraged about what color those people are wearing. While several Zimbabweans, Malawians, and South Africans are buying land to farm and run businesses, you are angry about some flag from a bygone era. While some parents have read and concluded that the Bela Bill may compromise their children's education and culture, you are rushing to defend it simply because Panyaza Lesufi has cranked you up to it. Guys, do not fall for the nonsensical outrage from Panyaza Lesufi and his minions. I don't know if you have forgotten, but in 2020, as Gauteng Education MEC, Panyaza Lesufi promised that the 29 Gauteng schools built with asbestos would be replaced by 2023. 2023 came and went, leaving 25 of the 29 asbestos schools in place.
Meanwhile, in Gauteng, Equal Education has found that 29 schools are constructed entirely out of asbestos. To find out what is being done about these issues, we're joined in studio by Gauteng Education MEC Panyaza Lesufi. Couple of issues on the table. Let's deal with the issue of asbestos first. Equal Education has said that 29 schools in Gauteng, and that's in various places across the province, are made entirely out of asbestos, and more than 200 others are constructed partially from asbestos. That despite the fact that asbestos has been banned since 2008. And we know that it takes time for infrastructure to be rolled out to replace these structures, but surely 10 years or 11 years is more than adequate. When can we expect this to be fixed?
I want to eradicate them, would have eradicated them tomorrow. But there are processes. You have to go to local government, you have to get contractors, you have to get budget, you have to get...
So there's a deadline for 2020. Are we going to meet that deadline?
No, we've been clear from the word go that our deadline is 2023. I don't know who gave the 2020. It's the national minister. Unfortunately, it was on the basis of the agreement with Equal Education. In Gauteng, we're very, very clear. On 2023, there will be no single asbestos schools. There will be no single mobile school. We've got the budget. We've got everything in our prepared and planned. So we're quite convinced that come 2023, all these particular schools will actually have already eradicated them. You go to the south, we've eradicated. As I'm speaking to you now, there are 7 schools that are in construction. So, and the 29 schools in Gauteng, I'm here because I know we've budgeted for them come 2023. No one must give us the date of 2020. We don't have that. We have 2023 as Gauteng, and we've said it for the last 4 years that our target is 2023, and by 2023, all the schools will fall.
So we have that on record now.
He failed to fulfill yet another promise and continued to endanger your children's health, exposing them to the cancerous properties of asbestos. But all he has to do for you to forget this is to say, hey, look this side. Afrikaners want their children to be educated in Afrikaans. Plus, they are wearing orange t-shirts, which means they want to take us back to the apartheid days. And just like that, the Afrikaners are the enemies and Panyaza Lesufi, the great hero. Panyaza was in charge of education for many years, and yet we still have substandard toilets right in Gauteng where he was in charge. So instead of putting pressure on him regarding that, he has you talking about white people who are fighting to have more control over their own children's education and heritage. As Zulus, you have your own culture and traditions, and simply because Zulus were responsible for the Mfekane Wars does not mean that Zulus should not be allowed to celebrate their heritage. It is still their heritage. Their undesirable history does not mean that they should not want control over their children to be in their own hands instead of the government's hands. South African citizens of English origin among us have their own culture and heritage and should not feel ashamed to honor their heritage because of colonialism. It is still their heritage. It is still in their blood. Christians are also associated with the Inquisitions, which have been accused of many things, some true, some not. But we will not silence Christians because of those deeds. Regardless of their past, it is normal for people to have their own unique cultures, heritages, and traditions, and it is normal for them to respect and honor them, unless if those cultures, heritages, and traditions pose a danger to them or others. Then it's a problem. Now back to the orange color that has Panyaza Lesufi and others going hysterical. It does not make sense that the focus in all of this is the color of the t-shirts that those marching against certain clauses of the Bela Bill were wearing. Instead, what should be happening is a debate about the facts about the Bela Bill and the facts only. Don't talk about how there were mostly white people in that gathering. That means nothing. Don't tell us about some orange or blue color of their t-shirts. That is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Tell us that you have read the Bela Bill and you know for a fact that their march is wrong or useless or something. You need to grow up. Panyaza too needs to grow up. But you know what? It's possible that he knows that this is the best way to get you outraged. Focused on racial division instead of the things that really matter. Maybe like service delivery, maybe the number of schools he and the ANC built or failed to build, maybe the low quality of the schools they did build. Could that be the real mission behind the orange outrage? People are saying they don't like the Bela Bill because they fear that it is meant to dilute schools and destroy the different heritages of specific schools. It is going to take their constitutional right to learn in their mother tongue. Is that not true? What is Panyaza's response to that? That is the question. When our people gather to do whatever it is they want to do, it's okay. Whenever our people gather displaying whatever many colors we wish, for whatever reason, white people are not saying anything. They're not saying take down those colors. Let the Afrikaners wear or display whatever color they wish. Man, even let the racist Afrikaners among us have their own racist colors. What do you care? How does it affect your life? Can you really devote time to racist people wanting to display racist colors instead of using that time to do something meaningful for yourself? Come on, man. Take yourself more seriously. I mean, if these races had the power and influence to really affect your life, it would be one thing. But as long as they don't, let the racist people say what they want and wear what they want. What do you care? Don't give them the time of day. It is just not worth it. Racist people exist whether you tell them to stop flying their racist flags or not. You focus on what matters, guys. Your economic prospects, your children's education, your neighborhood service delivery. People like Panyaza Lesufi, Julius Malem, and all those fools who want you talking about white people gathered with some orange colors are not serious about your future. They don't want you focusing on things that actually affect your future. Question is, are you going to wake up and see the tricks, or are you just going to go with the flow like a dead fish? Children in schools where Panyaza had a role can't read for meaning. Those are mainly our children, not white children. Children in our schools are using pit latrines, not Afrikaner children. Our children use bucket toilets, and the ANC was there, guys. They oversaw that. In fact, they are still in charge in many of those places even now. They have failed to fix their mess, but instead of you having an outrage over these horrific facts, you are going crazy about the colors orange and blue. Something that will not make a single improvement in your child's life and education.
Okokuqala ngibonge nje nangubaba uLusufi ukhona la. Baba uLusufi wasibalekela la sikubizela indaba yesikolo isizuzile primary school. i-Department of Education usasekhona babesithembisa ukuthi isikolo sizokwakhiwa ngebudget ka-2017-2018. Until today leso sikolo sakakhiwa isikolo samazozo phansi ku-floor akusahambeki ingane ziyawela phakathi. Besicela nisilungisele leyo nkinga leyo.
Public Protector Advocate Koleka has found that the Gauteng Education Department was wrong to start building the Maibuya Primary School in Tembisa too close to a wetland. It seems that that wetland had also been contaminated by a sewage pipe. The department spent 82 million rand on the school. It only commissioned a report about the wetland and the land that it was being built on after the construction started.
One of Panyaza's schools was built over a wetland. Several schools still have asbestos. Many neighborhoods still have a shortage of schools. Those are issues you need to be bugging this loudmouth about.
Yes, ma'am.
Ngizele lana ngizele ikolo kakhulu ngizele isikolo sase Barcelona sibizwa Barcelona Primary School. Comrade Panyaza uyasazi ngamehlo amagogoko. Presidente sihambile lesikolo lesi saka 1996 lesikolo lesiyana ku amagogoko sizamile ukuthi sihambe wonke ama department sengizokutshela into ya leviki lena manje ngile lapha e-district ngafika ngakhuluma no director lapha yana ngimbuza director ngoba ulokhu uyasemisa siyamacha siyenzani ngikhalela isikolo president athi isikolo president isikolo ngibuye eJohannesburg yobashela ukuthi mabathi isikolo
mama ufuna isikolo
phela izukulu zami
isikolo thank you khawula president
ngiyacela
thank you
mntana wami
Panyaza ukuma na uzokhawula mama
ngiyacela Panyaza akheni iBarcelona Primary School.
All right marutlile thank you tlisa microphone wakhe.
Instead, we have social media users focusing on attacking a race of people who are gathered in protection of their heritage. Whether they are right or not, debate the issue, not the color of their t-shirts. Let the Bela Bill be scrutinized by all. Let people have freedom to express themselves. Did they litter where they were? Did they block the road where they were? Did they beat up or oppress people where they were? If they did, then we can have a different conversation. They need to be arrested. But having heart palpitations over the colors of their t-shirts, come on, guys. We are better than that. Dear citizens, you are being used to fight battles that you have no clue where they are leading. What makes you so sure that this Bela Bill is even in your favor? How do you know unless you give people with differing opinions an opportunity to give you counter-arguments? Those white people have counter-arguments. Let them wear orange, blue, brown, green, whatever color. Let them wear newspapers or plastics. Question is what they were saying valid or not? Instead of being used by Panyaza, ask yourself that question and answer it. But before we proceed, if our content is to your liking, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, like and share the videos with other citizens, and remember to beware of the comrades. So, you're busy defending Panyaza. And for what? Because he wants this Bela Bill and NHI? You guys are playing around. Most of you did not even read the Bela Bill. You have simply taken what Panyaza has said and you regurgitate it as the gospel. Panyaza and the other ANC tools are using you to fight race wars when the real fight is not even about that. The real war is a voter against corrupt politicians and their comrades. The real war is between those who steal versus those who don't. The real war is against poor education and infrastructure in schools where our children go. But the dumbest and the loudest people among us are making it seem like the most important thing is this race nonsense. Afrikaners are fighting what they think are bad laws. You are fighting Afrikaners for standing up for their liberty and their heritage. You are being used to fight for an imbecile like Panyaza. It's just so crazy, huh? White this, black that. Why are they wearing orange and blue? Oh no, apartheid is coming back. Pathetic. Did you read the law? No. But why are the white people wearing orange? To you, that's more important than the Bela Bill itself. Our children cannot do multiplication tables. They can't. You have grade 7s from Zimbabwe who can do 12 multiplied by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but ours can't. Growing up, my mother was shocked that I didn't know the multiplication table from the top of my head, as she had learned it all during the apartheid years under the Bantu education.
The government primary school pupils who are in grade 4, 5 and 6 was produced to boost security in protected areas. The system can also be used by farmers to detect the presence of wild animals in their fields.
People and animals are stealing crops in fields, and people are also killing animals in game parks. So now my partner will explain the solution that we came up with.
But how does this system work?
We've got our webcam, which is supposed to be the input of information into the computer's code. So it feeds information into this computer and then gets into the code, which is running in Arduino on yellow libraries V8 that we edited for this to be turned on. Here it shows what it's detecting and how far it is, or how fast is the coding and the quality. And then the code sends information through this USB cable and into the universal serial bus, then into the ESP32 microcontroller chip that is connected to an LCD that's there. That's just supposed to show its own. It's a 16:2, but in the future we have more uses for it. Then we have an alarm that is told by the ESP32 to ring its times when it detects a human being or shadow.
So now for the example.
Vase. Bottle. Bottle. Intruder detected. Bottle. Intruder detected.
So that is what it's supposed to do when it's in the farms. We also intend to add these two drones in the future and make it more accurate about what it sees.
We intend to add facial recognition so that the camera can differentiate the people who work at the field or game park and those who are intruders. We intend to add a servo motor so that the camera can turn 180 degrees, because right now the webcam has blind spots, so an intruder might come from one of the blind spots and might not sense him or her.
The team is also working on producing a smart irrigation system which is set to benefit sugarcane farmers who mainly use irrigation to water their cane fields.
We come up with different projects that are under innovation, which goes with our educational policy 5.0. We started with a program which detects the intruders in the fields in this law field, and then we've got also developed another project which is smart irrigation.
The Chiredzi Government Primary School robotics team has been able to showcase its innovation on various international and local platforms that include the recently held Young Scientists Symposium.
I needed a calculator for almost every calculation when she could use her head or a small piece of paper to do quick division sums. I went to a public Model C school, but there are so many things that I didn't know that my mother knew from Bantu education. Our politicians are allowing our education to look fancier externally while it is dumbing us down mentally. They are focusing on things that don't matter while neglecting things that do matter. Instead of fighting the politician on behalf of your own child, nephew, or cousin, you are fighting orange and blue. You are being used by these people. Wake up, South Africa. It is clear our people crying about this are either racist or very ignorant. You get angered whenever people that are not black are gathered. Interestingly, there were black people there too. I even saw that there was an incident of one white person who entered that gathering with this flag, and the organizers of the gathering expelled that person. What more do you want from them? You want them to change their t-shirt color from orange to red or green? Rise above race politics. Debate the facts. Leave them be with their orange colors. Simply interrogate the merit of the cause. If it has no merit, say so factually. If it has merit, again, say so factually. Facts first, cry later. Do not support Panyaza or the ANC to sign something that you know very well you never even read. I know most of you don't like to read. You know that you don't like to read. So don't act wise here supporting things that you didn't read only to be shocked when you see it play out in your child's school in a few years. By then, when someone tells you that this is part of what those people in orange and blue were fighting against, you'll be too embarrassed to even say anything. Guys, just debate the merits of the Bela Bill, not the color of people's t-shirts, okay? Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.